Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh, I thought it was going to be deep into the... Okay, all right. Into the groove.
Yeah.
What up, y'all? What up, y'all? Everybody, After Buzzers, all of our super fans out there. Welcome to Devious Maids. The music just, like, you just cut it. Never stop the music like that. We got to have the music flowing in the background. Anyway, welcome back. It's another week of Devious Maids. We are now on episode 3, and everything's getting juicy. So we're going to have some fun today. My name is Stephaune Wallace. I'm hosting with some beautiful ladies in the building. This is...
Francesca. Hi, guys. Candice.
Hello, it's Laila.
Yep, and that's all of them. But today we have a very special, even more beautiful. Is that? Can I say that, ladies? Or y'all gonna be?
She is.
Okay.
She's beautiful.
Okay, because you know, Devious Maids always keeps the hotties. Y'all know how it goes. So, we have Miss Brianna Brown in the building with us today.
Hi.
Yes. Where the applause? Where the applause? Cue the applause.
So many people.
That's our live studio audience.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Back there.
You know, that's Molly's the executive producer of the live studio audience. Thank you, Molly, for everything you've done for us. Yeah, we're going to get into the show today. I'm loving having a special guest in the building. Thank you, Candice, for all you did. I also want to say to you guys, we love hearing from you. We try to read every comment you all send. So go to podcast1.com and make sure you take the survey. Let us know what's on your mind. Tell everybody how much you love the show. How much you hate the show. Whatever you want to talk about. Whatever you want to say. Go to podcast1.com. We want to hear from you. Thank you guys so much for all that you do for us. You know? Yeah, so how y'all feeling? Y'all want to get into it?
Yes.
So this is episode 3. They called it The Awful Truth. Mm-hmm. And there's some lies that are coming to the surface tonight. You know? Yeah, okay. All I get is a sigh
I
or
had
a
to take
breath.
a breather there. No,
Okay.
there's so much stuff that came out in this episode, so many truths that came out. I guess we'll get into all those as they unravel, but I know that we have a new
Male
maid for
Male
once.
maid.
And Francesca was getting a little hot in the
She was
screening
getting
room.
hot and bothered.
Suddenly I realized my house is really dirty,
Uh-oh.
and I hate cleaning, so
I'm excited that they brought some handsome gents on there. I mean, I love seeing the ladies, obviously. The eye candy is ridiculous. But just for you guys.
Right. There's a lot of us watching this.
For you guys. There's a couple of hunks. So who they're talking about, I guess, you know, you guys watched the episode. The new male maid is Jesse Morgan. And he shows up. He's very determined. Mm-hmm. This guy wants
He
to
didn't
work.
take no for an answer.
No.
There's not many men that want to clean house that bad. You know what I mean?
No. Well, then you kind of find out his little story on why he wants to clean houses and be a maid. He just wants something simple because he was in war and saw a lot
beautiful.
of, which is great.
Super endearing.
So I hope he stays on for many more episodes, actually.
And if he takes his shirt off a couple times,
God,
you'll be okay
yes.
with
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
it gets hot, you know,
when you're
dusting.
scrubbing
Oh, I love how it's turned around.
I was waiting for the shirt to come off, honestly.
Oh, trust me, you'll be fine. You'll be happy.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
It was like, yes.
You gonna spill a tea tonight. I feel like I think you got some tea you want to share with us, so we need to get to you quickly.
Vacuuming is hard,
And sometimes you
no
can build up a
intended.
sweat.
and you just need to take your shirt off
There's cardio in that.
if you're a man.
Yeah, of course.
If you're man.
I think Jesse's trying to find himself a nice, rich little housewife so he can just be set.
I kind of felt like that from the beginning. I was like, this is genius. For real. These desperate housewives are all like, oh, look at Jesse clean dusting and stuff. You know?
Bending over.
And Jesse might, people getting their college funds paid through these housewives, so I can only imagine what Monsieur Jesse we'll be getting into. But Marisol has an issue with Jesse, obviously. She's all pro women. Kind of reminds me of somebody who we got in the building.
I know.
Women's rights. You know, standing for the women. The disenfranchised.
I hate to interrupt, but speaking of women, I have to tell you guys about a new show this summer on ABC. We flash back to the 1960s when America is racing to send a man into space, and 7 elite pilots become the country's first astronauts. While these brave men hurtled through space on death-defying missions, the press turned the spotlight on their wives. And following every move that the American audiences could not get enough of these women, as the husbands became heroes, the wives rocketed to stardom.
Nice.
So
Yes, and it's
No pun
based
intended,
on the
huh?
best-selling book, The Astronaut's Wife's Club. And it's pretty much, in other words, it kind of reminds me of a Devious Maids meets the 1960s Housewives, because it's it shows their story to stardom and how they develop and just go over time. So
Yeah, you think about that time and going to space. Those guys were rock stars. So,
Yeah.
and they're not really around. So they're going to space. They're not really around. The wives are all we get to talk to. So it's going to be interesting. ABC.
Yep,
June
ABC.
18th.
June 19th. Make sure y'all check
June
it out.
18th.
18th. If you go on the 19th, you better DVR it because you missed it. Seriously. But so back to Jesse Morgan. So he's like talking to Marisol about there not being any boys allowed. This is like the reverse sexism going on.
It totally is.
You know, I mean, I felt the way about that. I was like, why can't the guys?
He could totally bring a lawsuit.
I thought he was going to go there. Actually,
Well, no, actually, he totally saved Marisol because she was just going to get her business bashed.
Yeah.
And he
Exactly.
was the one that saved it pretty much. So she owes him now.
I love it. I love how they didn't make him just like some regular guy. They're like, he has to have like this violin playing and this story and this picture
Right.
of him and his 2 friends that didn't make it. Shout
Well,
out to
I have a question.
Devious Maids writers.
When he was like, this is why I'm doing this, and he had a photograph, what did you think he was going to show a photograph of?
A kid.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like his parents or something.
I'm just curious what everyone.
Okay.
Child he had to take care of.
They got us. I mean, we were
Good.
stumped.
Yeah.
You know?
I thought it
Writers,
Yeah.
writers keep doing your thing. You know what I mean?
There's if it's anything like the rest of the show, there's definitely a twist coming with him.
Well, speaking of twists, I know everybody probably felt like me out there when Blanca, who has become like some kind of detective, she's going way too deep. She's getting way too nosy for her own good, and she's putting her nose in places
Yes.
she shouldn't be. But egg on her face when Michael ain't dead.
Yes.
Michael showed up.
I knew he wasn't
He's
dead.
back.
He's very
Who,
much back.
wait, who said I knew he
I
wasn't
knew
dead?
he wasn't dead.
I called it too.
Yeah.
Really?
Everyone thought he was dead, I thought.
No.
We
I had
all
so
said
many
dead.
Twitter fans that thought it was dead.
Yeah,
that
I
was
thought he
dead.
was
So
dead.
many people.
Yeah.
That's too easy, though,
Well, I just thought he got written off. Maybe he did something wrong in the craft services or something.
That happened. It happened.
Speaking
Michael,
of,
one more strike and you're dead next
Brett
week.
Collin just
No.
time out.
Get a leg chopped off next episode.
Brianna, do you remember when the Twitter feed went crazy the way she ate her string cheese on episode 1?
She's like biting the head off of it.
I have to say, sometimes I've done that.
I mean, that's not,
That's what they
I
say.
eat my string cheese, so.
Yeah. Sometimes
Lord.
you're like, I don't want to follow the rules.
No,
Exactly.
exactly. I'm
I'm
in a
just
hurry.
going nuts about
Or is it
string
that
cheese.
maybe
Devious
you
Maids.
all have a little crazy in you.
Well, that,
See that face?
could be
I
slightly.
mean, I play crazy, so
You're like, I play crazy, but are you? No, I'm kidding. Oh, I know. I get it. Bite the head off the string cheese. Katie is absolutely one of the more terrifying little kids.
Yeah.
A little different.
She's already kind of mute, and that's scary enough.
She has
know?
those looks too. She's so great at like bringing the creepiness. In that
Yeah.
scene in the in her room with the dollhouse and with Blanca and her and how the dollhouse shuts. I thought that was
No, she
genius.
shut that
she
door
shuts
all
it.
creepy like.
Yeah, she's like, that's my dad in the photos. I mean, you know, she didn't kill him, but she wants to kill him.
Or maybe she killed her real dad.
The scariest people say the least amount,
Right.
Like when somebody doesn't talk, you're like, I don't feel comfortable with you right now.
Yeah.
You know? And then she says like 4 words and shuts the door, and you're like, this kid's a murderer.
This
I mean,
kid.
or it's something, a psychopath. I don't know.
Is she serious on set, or like when you guys are in those very serious scenes? Does she ever crack a smile?
Oh, she's like the most precocious, adorable
I
little
knew it.
girl, and she,
I knew
you know, so watching her go from jumping around and hugging people and smiling to like creepy
She
looks.
she does a great
It's
job.
hilarious.
Yo, that means she's a really good little actress.
Yeah.
She is a
Yeah.
good little actress.
Yeah.
She
Already.
really legitimately is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, shout out to the little mixed breed. Let me see you getting your acting on. That's good stuff. Good stuff. So, Blanca, I think Blanca's going to void her contract. She's breaching the contract. She came back in, and she's talking to Taylor about, keeping hush hush.
Yeah.
Taylor, by the way, you do a very, very good job. I'm calling you Taylor.
Fine. I like it.
Keeps you in character.
I'm in character right now.
She don't break character. She lives the character.
I don't break character till I'm done.
No, you do a great job at just kind of offsetting everything, because I can't necessarily trust you.
Good.
But you can't hate her.
But I
either.
can't. I'm not mad, and I feel like somehow in there, and this is great acting. Somewhere in there, I'm like, I feel bad because you're caught in a situation. That's what I'm assuming,
Okay.
just based on what you're giving me.
Thank you.
So it's fantastic.
Thank
I'm
you.
like,
Thank you.
So I don't know what's going on, and then Michael shows up. I'm like, her husband is alive.
What happened?
Yeah, like who did get murdered then? That's what.
That's the big
And
question.
We're gonna talk about that
His
at the
leg is
end.
in
We're
the
gonna give some
lawn.
predictions on that. We do predictions at the end of the show. We're gonna give some predictions on what we think, who we think got killed, got hacked up.
At the Powell's house of murder.
Hilarious.
Right?
Right?
Well,
Yeah.
don't at the murder house.
They do the TMZ tour. They stop by. Like, this is the house where 3 murders took place. And
It was a leg.
yeah.
How hilarious is Rebecca Wasaki in that?
oh
As
my
she's
God.
running up telling Rosalind Sanchez, like, okay, do this, do that, garbage and recycling. I hope, you
Yeah.
have fun with that. And then
Easily,
we're all
easily.
about, our image here. And then, as comes by the TMZ, this is the murder house.
Perfect timing.
Like,
I know.
And
She's
so
great.
great.
She's so great.
She's always all over the place. She's very refined, and then she
Yeah.
just loses it.
She's such a genius actress.
She
Yeah.
is.
Hilarious too. The way they write for her is. I know part of that probably is just her comedic timing on her own.
Yeah.
But her writing and everything she says is hilarious. One of my
Genius.
favorite characters on the show. Next to you, of course.
Yes. Thank you.
Brianna, really quickly, we have a Twitter fan that wanted to know how the bond with Naya Rivera,
Oh.
and then also that they covered her pregnancy up really well.
Oh, didn't they? Yeah, I remember, poor thing. She's pregnant and, not always feeling well, but it was lovely. It was lovely working with her. She's just a complete sweetheart, and, we were adversaries on screen, and we got along great as we sat down next to each other chatting between takes.
Very cool.
Well, there you go, at Sarah GG14.
Yeah. Shout out to Naya Rivera as well. And congrats on the new baby.
Yeah.
So the baby's now how old? What?
She's pregnant.
Still
pregnant.
She didn't have the baby yet.
It takes like 9 to 10 months to
Yeah, and it was
Listen, I'm a
about 3.
man.
It was about 3, so he said,
Have the baby already, Naya. Get the hot cheerleader body back.
God.
We all
looks
miss it out
great.
there, and the Twitter fans miss it. Speaking of hot bodies, they brought in yet another man.
Yeah.
he doesn't work out.
Oh.
I'm a little concerned about him
Really?
being slightly obese for his health reasons.
Yeah, who we're talking about none other than
dun, dun, dun.
rising from the dead, nonetheless. Ernesto. Did you see that? I rolled my R's.
Good job.
Thank you. I need to be proud of me. Ernesto is back.
He's
And
back.
Hottie Ernesto.
Candice's fave.
Right? He's ridiculous.
Is he on set? Does he
It's
just walk around
ridiculous.
shirtless?
Just has everyone walk around
that'd be lovely. But I have to say, there have been table reads where I've seen multiple men, like they were all just kind of next to each other, and I was looking at my lines, and I'm like, this is just,
You're like, no.
I can't
this is wonderful, is what this is. Thank you. This is wonderful eye candy. None of you eat carbs. I'm so happy as I'm eating bread.
I want to look at you guys.
Trust me, we
Do
can't
some
tell.
push-ups
Okay.
again.
Craft service on that set must be full at all times. Like nobody probably eats.
Nobody
Yeah, the
eats.
crew
Oh.
eats.
They love it too. They're probably like,
Yeah, they're like, I love all this.
more for me.
Working on the right show.
So Ernesto is back. He is shirtless for pretty good part of it.
No,
Just
you're
for you
thinking
ladies.
of
Ernesto wasn't shirtless.
You're
He
thinking
was?
of Sebastian.
Oh, he was just bulging through the t-shirt.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, he had the guns
Yeah.
showing. Okay. It was
His
something.
guns are bigger than my legs.
Yeah, he
Like,
was.
much bigger.
Is he tall too? He looks really tall.
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
about 6'2".
Okay. Is everyone tall?
The men are tall.
They're tall.
And y'all know what they say about tall men.
They're tall.
They're-
They're tall. They're tall.
They're the opposite of
Steph.
short.
So Spencer doesn't want Ernesto back, obviously.
course he
He's
doesn't.
Tells him to
super
beat it.
insecure.
Mr. Spinks.
He's scared
Rosie
to
has
death.
the box, the memory box of all his photos. So he finds it.
She's killing me.
How realistic though is it that the hospital would call the house and do that?
Well,
Some hospitals maybe.
that nurse is kind of like
Like her
friend
buddy.
of the family.
Yeah.
almost.
I mean, she was there for 3 months,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
so.
Yeah, she was in a coma.
Rosie's killing me though. I mean, as a wife, let's throw away Ernesto's photographs.
She has
No?
a son with him.
I mean, I think it's fine to hold on to memories, but you don't every episode drop how Ernesto was a better husband. That's relationship 101.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
there's another way to go about doing that.
Right.
But it's a great build up for when he comes in
Of course.
back.
And she gets the starry eyes too much. She's like staring off. And when I was married to Ernesto, I'm like, yo.
Danya
I'm
Ramirez
here.
kills it. Kills it. She is hilarious.
Yes. I'm like, Spencer's like, remember me? I'm your husband. So Spencer tries to circumvent the whole return of Ernesto, but
Yeah.
obviously he can't.
What would
That
you have done
backfired.
if you were in Spencer's shoes? Would you have told him to beat it? Would you have told her?
You know, I can't.
Remember, this episode's all about honesty.
Yeah.
Stephaune.
I'm always
The
giving all
awful
the truth.
truth.
I'm going to give you the awful truth. See, I
awful
wanna
truth.
lower this, make sure y'all see me. I'm so confident that I wouldn't have any issue knowing that Ernesto was back. So, because I'd be handling my business, Spencer. Anyway, so moving on. Ernesto is back. Spencer's trying to circumvent, and we fall into this, overlaps into this $80,000 wedding that was not planned but planned.
But plan. Oh, Genevieve. I mean, come on. She's gonna have an excuse to have a wedding at her house or a party, and her and Zoila have such a great relationship. So,
Which is wonderful.
yeah.
But speaking about relationship advice, Genevieve, don't listen to her.
Never.
yeah, take her marriage advice. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that, guys.
5 failed marriages, not just like, 1 or 2. 5 times?
Or she might have great advice because she's done everything wrong possible.
That is
Okay.
true.
One of the two.
One of the two.
One of the
I
two.
think
Depends
she's,
on the situation.
Yeah, she might have learned a few lessons.
Yeah, I mean, we all learn.
I don't know if she's as self-aware as that, but that's fine. That's fine.
her extravagance, I couldn't, I don't think we should, don't take her advice.
Yeah, I actually, truthfully.
She's like over the top. Just them mentioning that this wedding was $80,000 is already ridiculous.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
3 days to plan it.
By the way, it's
We
at
love
her
her.
house.
At her
Yeah.
house.
She didn't have to pay for a venue. What?
Still $80,000.
Still
It's
$80,000.
still $80,000.
We love Susan Lucci. How amazing is it to work with her?
She's amazing. I remember when she first came through at the first table read. She's just this tiny, itty bitty, gorgeous, radiant, lovely woman who is kindest to everyone. And she's a legend.
She is
Yeah.
a legend.
She's a legend.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she's just on it and just hilarious and just an absolute doll.
I love
And still
seeing her
so
in this.
sharp.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't talk about age in women, but we know that she's been around
Erica Kane.
for decades.
Yeah.
Forever.
So, and she's
She
so
looks
sharp.
she looks great for her age. I mean,
Yeah.
And
like
you know what
whatever
she says she
she's doing.
swears by? Lemon water.
I drink that good.
Lemon water. Yeah, she said
five.
years and years ago she met all these gorgeous older women who were they would always lunch and they all had lemon water, and she asked them about it and they said, yep, lemon water, which if you know anything about that,
Yeah.
lemon in your warm water
Yeah.
is alkalizing.
Yep.
So it's very healthy for you. So,
So it
there
has
is
to
a
be
tip
warm.
Detox
for
for
AfterBuzz.
So we getting
There you
tips too. I love it. I love it. So it was a little bit more than lemon water at this wedding. We
Some
Yeah.
vodka.
there's definitely vodka. I don't know
Red
what else
wine,
is at this wedding.
not with
Not
nice,
with the red dress.
not with the red dress.
Which I love. Carmen. Oh, Carmen. Carmen. So we
I mean, she's okay to look at too.
Yeah.
I was saying, I wrote in my notes, I was like, thank you, producers. You too, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, God. She's so symmetrical. I was like, oh.
I love that they always give me like a gratuitous Carmen half naked scene, just in case I was not watching.
Right.
They're like, pay attention. I'm like, yes, you have my full attention. I'm fully into Devious Maids. I love it. Thank you, Carmen.
Especially
for all
this
that you do.
season. She's definitely taking
been-
her clothes off a
she's
lot.
more
And I'm sure you're
She's
more
kicking
than
it into
happy.
gear. Yeah.
She's 3 for 3.
Listen, everybody's getting what they want now. We
make
got
it-
Jesse Morgan. We got Ernesto. Yeah, let me have my Carmen.
Yes.
Anyway, so the wedding's going on. There's a lot of secrets at the wedding. Obviously now Javier's tea has been spilled.
Yeah.
He was married before.
He was married before.
And, I don't know if that came as a surprise. I felt like he had something.
I felt like when they were talking
Either way.
earlier in the episode, they're talking about like this, about something about being married. I forgot what the scene was, but I felt like he was hiding something.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
oh, he's been married before. I think I even said it.
Yeah. Or he got some outside kids or something. Something was going on in his eyes,
And how hilarious was that the minister was saying, and marriage is based on honesty.
Right.
Yes. Right into looking at her.
And then she walks by, hearing
Zoila
hearing the fight with Rosie
Yeah.
and Mr. Spence, and she's like, "How can you lie to someone that you love?" And she happens to hear that, and that's what pushed her to.
They just kept breaking her down. It was
Yeah.
like,
when
one after another blow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guilty conscience.
Exactly.
And she exploded. She finally broke, which I think was great.
Yeah,
You know?
I think she did the right thing, and I'm sad that, it looks, at least as of now, that Javier is deciding to walk away.
I think he's just angry.
How do you take...
He's gone for
Okay,
good.
so... Yeah, let's put ourselves in
know.
his shoes. Cheater. Don't tell us.
I won't.
Can we
Okay.
hear your predictions?
Yeah, I know.
They're usually right. It's weird.
How are you supposed to take that as a man, though? Okay, so first off, you felt like you've been hiding this thing that's eating you up inside. You love this woman. You're trying to figure out how to share it, when to share it. He finally gets it off his chest. He feels like, weight's lifted. Let's get married. This is a woman I love. There's a whole nother strapping man that shows up at your wedding and kind of breaks up your entire, your wonderful day with this beautiful woman that you're about to have a baby with.
Yeah.
And you've been wanting to be a dad.
Forever.
That's like your thing.
Yeah.
And then you get the other bomb dropped on you.
But in Zoila's defense, she was just trying to spare him grief. And, Pablo's already dead in her head. She was just thinking she was doing right until her little guilty conscience
y'all
just
women.
kept jabbing.
Well, see, I feel like she would have said the truth if it wasn't for Genevieve to, like, kind of drill it in her, like,
To not.
yeah, you need a father for the kid, don't tell him, it's fine.
I mean, I thought it is going to come out eventually, So, I mean, it was going to, and she needed to. She's not going to feel right about going through the whole process of being pregnant, having the baby, going through the birth, and not telling him.
Yeah.
What we've learned from Devious Maids is no
Premarital
wedding.
counseling. Pre-marital counseling is what we learned from Devious Maids.
Prenup.
Prenup.
Absolutely.
And a prenup.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And just don't get married if there's anyone from Devious Maids around, because something's always gonna go down.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna die, maybe.
Any wedding. There's stuff.
yeah.
I'm like, what's going to happen at this wedding? And
Of course.
know.
It's more interesting that way.
Exactly.
This show is so funny
don't
because
die.
it's like sensationalizes this whole maid lifestyle in this in Beverly Hills or whatever.
Yeah.
These rich areas, and I wonder, I would love to just talk to a few actual maids,
Oh, I don't know if you want to know.
I'm sure they know a lot of
Yeah,
things.
they
They got a
know
lot
a
of dirt.
lot.
I know a lot.
Yeah, they have a lot of dirt.
Didn't some of them write books and so like there was something came out
There-
where they came out with all this like
Kardashians had a couple
Yeah.
people.
Some of them
spill
have to
some
sign
beans on-
an NDA, though. Most of them.
They do.
Okay.
But they do, but some stuff came out.
People getting smarter. 4 words that Zoila says is we need to talk. Those are the worst 4 words in relationship history, no?
Yes.
Yeah, that's nothing good.
We need to talk. I'm like, wait.
On your wedding day.
Right.
Yeah.
The
We
worst.
need to talk? Are you kidding? Anyway, so she dropped that on him, and my heart was like, no, not right now. But she did it, and...
Right after you were just at the altar, and that got interrupted. Otherwise, they would have went through with it and they would have been married. I mean,
Yeah.
Rosie
It was a sign.
fainting stopped them from getting married.
She's with this fainting. Oh, jeez, Rosie. She's like, Ernesto.
What if you saw your wife or your husband that you thought was dead, and he just shows up? I mean, you'd be in such shock.
And she did just come out of a coma.
She
That
did.
too.
You know?
Could easily be
Should
lightheaded.
go right back
She had
into
no muscle atrophy, but that's fine.
No, she
laying
was-
there for
she was
3
perfect.
months.
Yeah.
I was talking about that last week.
Yeah.
Like, she's great.
Yes.
You saw her
What's she
body
been
when she
doing?
got out there. She's like,
She's rocking it.
so much happened in this show, in this episode. We definitely want to talk a little bit about predictions after we get into a little conversation with you, our favorite guest, our favorite person. So let me get my computer. My computer went
Really
to,
quickly,
went
though,
live.
question number one we did want to talk to you about is your group that you're a member of, the New Hollywood Women's Goal Group.
Yes.
Tell us a
So
little
you
bit about
created
that.
it, right?
I did. I founded it in 2006.
Okay.
Actually, so it's almost been 10 years
Oh, wow.
that it was originally a goal group, and then it's just evolved to I made it a nonprofit. It's now a 501c3 nonprofit.
Nice.
And we focus on goal setting, support specifically for women in the entertainment industry, charity, giving back, and then education, continued
Yeah.
education. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
even know what it is. What's that thing
It's
I
good
created?
stuff.
It's been 10 years. But yeah, and so it's all about just women in the industry supporting each other and achieving their personal and their professional goals, and then just being a positive example and giving back. And
Sure.
the reason
Love
the reason I started it was because when I was younger, I had a hard time finding my tribe of people. I'm from
Right.
Minnesota. You
Yeah.
know, I came from the theater. I came
Sure.
from like, you know, just a different sort of background. And then all of a sudden I chose to jump into Los Angeles at 19.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And,
Wow.
you know,
A baby.
I was a baby.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and it's a completely different culture, and I didn't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, finding women that I felt like had my back and we could support each other, and
Sure.
especially being in my category and being an actress. And I found that when I was networking with a lot of men, especially when I was younger, I wasn't taken as seriously, and there were usually ulterior
Trying to
motives,
snip you.
and, you know, and it just made me really uncomfortable. So then I would find amazing women along the way, and kind of just started building this tribe, and it ended up turning into this movement of women just really, really supporting each other, and then, you know, trying to say like, your win is my win, and
Yeah.
let's go and
Love
you know,
that.
do
Yeah,
our
that's great.
best. Let's make a positive difference in the world
Sure.
using our platforms, whatever they may be.
I love it.
I love that.
That's great.
How do you feel that's helped elevate you since you've moved here from 19? I mean, you've been
Yeah.
in 30 different TV shows.
Yeah.
You're all over the place. So-
Definitely, because it's kept me grounded, and it's been my chosen family. I mean, I have friends
Yeah.
that are not in my organization, but you know, I feel like it's really just created a beautiful platform for me to continue to learn and to grow. And I feel like being an entrepreneur and working for myself, it's nobody's going to push you but you.
Yeah.
And nobody cares about your success more than you. And so I found that, you know, it's such a roller coaster in the business, and so you have to constantly be evolving and learning and growing, and having this goal setting, you're always learning and growing. You know?
If you can go back to your 19-year-old self, what would you tell yourself?
Oh my goodness. What
Remember, you were a
wouldn't
baby
I
then,
tell-
right?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I would tell myself to be kinder to myself. And I would tell myself to listen to myself more and have really strong discernment as to who you surround yourself with. Because I think, you know, there were a lot of people like, oh, you're my friends, and they become drug addicts. And I was like, you know.
It's true.
It's
very
true.
true.
I had
It's very
best
true.
friends that like became meth addicts, and I was like, what? I had friends. I just kept seeing all these people that you know, and as we know, the people that have lived here for a while, it's so transient.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
come and
Sure,
you go.
sure.
And
It's hard to have your core group of like great women around you. When you find it, you have to keep it.
yeah, and women that really, really have similar values, and
Definitely.
that you know that they and that are also artists, or that people aren't like sabotaging themselves constantly.
Right.
You know, and there was a lot of like me rescuing people. Instead, I wish I would have said, you don't need to rescue them.
Right.
Everybody's on their journey. Like,
and let them learn their way.
take care of
and-
you.
Sure.
But that's been kind of the wonderful thing is I know about myself is like I'm like, hey, you want to run a marathon? Cool. Or I want to run a marathon. What can I do? Cool. Let's all run a marathon. Well, now we'll all go. You know.
That's
But I know that
awesome.
about myself.
Yeah.
So it's just finding the right people and letting people do their thing and just following your bliss.
Being in the industry, though, there's a lot of I feel like there's a lot of compromise that happens
Yes.
for especially for young ladies. And so it seems like you have more of a grounded lifestyle from before you came into the industry. Like, what's your background like at home? growing up in the Twin Cities?
Oh my goodness, I was like a nerd.
Okay. All right.
I taught drug education. You know, I was an honor student. I
Student
did
of the year.
speech. I did speech. I played soccer. I was in a choir. I was in multiple a cappella groups. I was like, ooh, let's get up at 6:30 in the morning and go to choir practice. And let's stay late till theater, and I'll be in the church organization. And I mean, I was in leadership positions throughout, and so. You know, I went to like a private liberal arts college in Minnesota so that I could audition for things downtown Minneapolis because I had reps that that were putting me on videotape.
Yeah.
Back then, and then it's so funny, and you know, and I was brought out. I had a team that brought me out to Los Angeles, but I was 19, and you know, it was.
But you had that foundation, though. That's awesome.
I had that family. I had good family. I had just.
That's
you know,
cool.
and I thought that somehow TV and film were going to look somewhat similar to theater, and they're very different.
Very different.
Very different.
Very different. Yeah, I love it. Just came from Minnesota. When's the last time you've been home?
Around the holidays.
Okay. Yeah, I was in the North Loop area. Down there, just eating everywhere because there's like bomb burgers. I had a place called the Parlor, I believe it is.
Okay.
Bomb cheeseburger. Anyway, that's something that...
Parlor. No taken.
You're right. When you go home,
cheeseburger.
Go to Parlor. Cheeseburger. But you ain't going to eat. You don't eat cheeseburgers.
Yes, I do. Just not all the time.
Am I judging you? I didn't mean to judge you.
But thank you.
So I read that you have a film coming up you executive produced. It's called One Moment Please.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about it.
Oh, it's great. It's a socially conscious film. It's interweaving the stories of these different people who are trapped in an elevator, and this elevator operator who is dealing with all of these situations, and it's dealing with people who are dealing with, there's bigotry, there's racism, there's dealing with homophobia.
Sure.
There's a lot of intermix.
Yeah.
So it's
which
really,
is what the world is. So it's like a microcosm.
Right, and so it's just this one woman and what she's having to deal with and what's happening in these elevators and who's in conflict with one another. It's great.
Yeah. One woman. So, it's in post-production.
Yes.
Around when can we expect it?
We'll be submitting it to festivals probably by the end of the year.
Oh, awesome.
Okay. Cool.
Sooner.
We'll be looking out for it. It's called One Moment Please.
When did you gravitate towards production as an actress? When did you start kind of getting the feel for that?
You know, it was actually something because of my goal group. It was one of those things where a couple of us had an idea as actors, and we said, you know what? Let's create our own material. Or, you know, it was also a thing where, you know, there are periods of time, lulls, where you're not working as much, or you say, I want to do this character that's different than what I normally am seen as.
Right.
You know, and the irony is that people, unless they've seen you as something, they don't think you can do it.
Right.
You know, people are like, oh my God, you can play a villain? You're like, I am an
Well, look
actress.
at Will Ferrell.
It's weird.
Yeah, look at Will Ferrell. He put up the money for the Lifetime movie. He's playing a father that adopted somebody, but he funded everything because it's a
no comedy.
No comedy.
Yeah, and you
drama.
just create. Well, it also is an over-the-top comedy, a drama to kind of be funny too. So you know, there's that. He's got that like on it. But it is one of those things where you, as artists, you know, I feel that artists need to consistently be creating and using their talents. Otherwise, you know, a lot of them spins the other way.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
They get in their head.
If it's not out there,
they
just
get in
create
their
it
head.
yourself.
And they talk about that, like Julia Cameron talks about that in the book The Artist's Way. It's like you need to be creating. You need, as artists, you need, if you have a strong creative desire, you need to constantly be making stuff happen for yourself. Otherwise, it becomes detrimental.
Yep.
Sure. Which is great advice for all young actresses and actors.
Right.
Producers,
Writers.
writers.
And that was the thing too. I realized when I was younger, I was like, you know, I felt that it was almost like somebody needed to say, you have your master's in writing, now you're allowed to write. Well, I met people who had their master's in writing and didn't write, or they didn't finish things.
Sure.
So then I met other people like Angela, who wrote the One Moment Please, and I had said to her, you've directed stage, you need to direct film, and she had to learn all the technical stuff.
Sure.
She sent me her first script. The format was completely wrong. They were like dot 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 for the pauses. I was like, that's not right. But let's work on this. And what it is saying, instead of cutting someone off because they're not perfect, saying, okay, cool, this is great. How can we help shape this and help one another? And the story that came out of her is phenomenal. But had she had the wrong person look at it, she might have chosen to never write and never direct and never win at a bunch of festivals.
You know,
Right.
which
That
that goes back to show, like you said, you have your circle who uplifts you. So can anyone be a part of your
Anybody
group?
can be part of the online community at this
Okay.
point, which is you just go to thenewhollywood.org and you sign our little pledge page.
Cool.
And then we're expanding and creating additional branches. And in 2016, I have this wonderful gentleman named Kit Williamson who is going to be replicating what I've created. He's working beside me to create an LGBT branch.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Kit. Way. All right. Progressive. Here we go.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So you're never what's on
Idle?
the downtime? Yeah.
What are you
Well,
doing?
I know you ran a
downtime?
marathon in 2012.
Yeah, I run marathons.
What's fun like?
Huh?
What's She's like, what is that?
fun?
What is that?
I know you're a big fan of Game of Thrones, right?
Yes, I just
Yes, so-
finished. I just caught up last night, and what?
Shh.
This one over here.
All I can say is what.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome. So what was more violent to you? All the scenes in Game of Thrones or that bloodbath in your living room in Devious Maids?
I mean, it's fake for me.
Yeah, that was fake for her.
Did you see
What's
the blood
awesome-
on the couch?
Right.
It's a lot of blood.
A lot.
Blanca is a great maid for getting that out. I just gotta say that.
You were
How
like,
did she
Blanca
clean
cleaned the
that?
blood out of the white couch?
She bought a new couch.
Genius. Give her a raise.
I know. Well, she didn't ask until I did when she asked. You know?
Yeah.
But that's teaching us all a lesson. You need to ask for a raise,
Yes.
otherwise you won't get one.
Open your
Yeah.
mouth,
Even
people.
if you clean
Mouth won't get fed.
blood, clean up a murder scene, or clean up a limb scene.
That's right.
So besides Game of Thrones, what else? What are your favorite things to watch, or what are your favorite things to spend your time other than helping out and empowering other women?
She's like, well, my boyfriend.
I do like to spend time with significant others. And friends. I just
Okay.
love to spend time with friends. And I just, it's like that litmus test. Does someone add value? Does it make you feel inspired? And inevitably I end up like creating stuff with my friends because we're like, this is a good idea. And then all of a sudden I'm creating a benefit. And, we're all singing together. And I'm like, well, that just happened because of a coffee. So, but that just, that brings me so much joy to be
Sure,
creative
sure.
and say like, someone comes to me and they say, I have an idea and 1 billion rising and it's going to be a flash mob, and I'm like, you know what, I know other nonprofits, let's bring them together and
I
like
love
all
that.
do
Yeah.
it. And then it was the biggest one in West Hollywood.
That's
Awesome.
awesome.
It's like that's what gets me excited.
It kind of pours out of you, which is
Yeah.
awesome. You bring such a
does.
great energy,
Oh, thank you.
and you attract everything to you. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
So,
radiant.
thank
So everybody, this is Miss Brianna Brown. Brianna, so we can, as fans,
Yes.
follow you on Instagram and Twitter
Yes, you can.
at
Okay,
Brown
so
Brianna? No.
yeah, Brown Brianna.
Okay.
I was late in the game on that, as we mentioned prior to us going on the air. I had
That ain't got nothing to do with her dating no black dudes. That's just
it's because my eyes are brown.
because her eyes are brown.
Lord.
No, it's because my last name is
gosh.
Brown, and someone had Brianna Brown when I first got on Twitter because I had some stalker
Oh.
pretend to be me.
Impersonators.
Dun,
It's
dun,
impersonators.
dun.
Pretend to be me.
Yeah.
And then I was really late on the game on Instagram, so please follow me. But it's like Brianna _Lynn_ Brown because everything was taken. I'm like, I didn't even know what to do at that point. But it was literally, I think, 2 months ago,
Yeah,
3
yeah.
months ago.
Okay.
Finally, I was like,
Better late than never.
Yeah.
yes,
True.
right?
Yeah,
Right,
you
right,
are
right.
in the game.
Yeah.
So that's Brown _
Lynn.
No.
Lynn _ Brown _ Lynn _ Brianna.
No, that would make more sense. But it's actually Brianna _ Lynn _ Brown, and then Twitter is at Brown Brianna.
Thank you.
You know
I
what? Just
wanted
go to
her
my
say it again.
website,
Yeah,
Brianna Brown. It's all there. You'll learn.
Yes, you can go to Brianna-Brown.com and check her out. You got a bunch of stuff going on there. I love it. I love the photo gallery. I was like, ooh. Okay, Brown.
Brianna.
No.
I have one question from a fan that always tweets us. Her name's Brittany. Her Twitter name is rmelvinfan, and she says, "Which role so far in your career was your most exciting to book?"
Ooh.
Mm.
Ooh. I would have to probably say Devious Maids was the most exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah, I
That's
would say.
cool.
I mean, I remember I went my best friend was staying with me, and I went into the other room, and because we were waiting to finally get the pickup, and I got the phone call, and I went over to her, and I said, I got it, and we were jumping on the bed, jumping. It was like,
That's such a good
and my
feeling.
agent's on, I'm like, ah! I mean, it was such a huge win.
And it never gets
Such a
old. That's
huge
awesome.
win. Yeah.
That's really awesome. Well, let's do a couple of predictions just so that we, while we got you here.
Yes.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
You could
Now-
just give a little head nod.
I'll be like,
blink twice
Way
if we're
off.
right.
I'll just
Once if
keep
we're
messing
off.
with you.
You were way off. All right, what do you guys got?
I think Rosie is she's gonna go back with Ernesto eventually, because you just can't compete. She's always talking about him
Sure.
to Spence, and she's always been in the back of her mind. So now that he's back and in person, I just don't think Spence can compete with him, especially
I
since he
agree.
lied about it.
I think Spence is going to bow out of that, which, I don't know how I feel about him backbone-wise, but I think he's going to, gracefully bow out
And
of
get
that.
back into porn, soft porn.
Yeah, Skinamax for Spence.
I think Rosie's gonna leave. I mean, I think she's gonna leave him. She's already pissed off at him that he lied to her, and Ernesto's
just
her
don't
love and the father of her son. And I don't know. I see her. I definitely see her going back to him.
I feel like that would be the what you should think, but I feel like there's just always so many twists and turns. My one thing would be, it's been so long that maybe even though she still loves him, he's like a memory still to her.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So maybe she'll stay loyal to Spence. Let's look at Brianna.
No, she's got So tell me, Javier and
I'll just keep making faces. Every time you ask me a question, I'll be like,
I try to catch you off guard,
what an awesome face.
she's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
what?
What would your predictions be? You have
Well, I know because I'm in
Yes, you give me
episode
my
312, but
Katie,
tried.
she's talking about her dad that died. It's her biological father.
That's what
not
I think
Michael.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Zoila? How do you think this is going to turn out for her with Javier?
I just hope for Zoila's sake that Javier, maybe gives it a break for a bit and then comes back
Needs to cool
because
off.
I mean, she's pregnant and alone, and like the father's dead, and her new man just left her. Yeah.
Because it seems like he really, really loved her. If he,
Just
just
needs a break. He's in shock. That's
definitely.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't kind of faint like Rosie.
Yeah.
I don't know about raising another kid from the womb, though. But we'll see what happens with Javi. I just want to say, lastly, in predictions, I think Blanca's in a little bit of trouble with Taylor.
Look how surprised she is, everyone.
Cut to the face.
Dun, dun, dun.
No, I think Blanca's sticking her nose in a little too deep.
You think?
And she's going to get her hand slapped.
Or something.
She's
by
getting
Taylor.
paid already. She just needs to
She blackmailed the wrong.
let it go.
I think Michael knows exactly what Taylor's about and exactly what's going on. And they're both going to tag team spank Mrs. Blanca into line.
I like
Yeah.
it.
I don't know. I feel like if I was in her shoes too, I would want to keep discovering. Like I couldn't just let it go. Even if you were paying my college tuition,
yeah.
See,
I would still want to know.
But then you're like,
nosy.
I feel like that's just asking for trouble, which
Yep.
obviously it is. I mean, if you're going to keep your mouth shut, keep your mouth shut. Stop pushing the issue.
you talking about being an accessory to murder
Yeah.
and hushing it up and then digging deeper?
It doesn't make
Let
any
it
sense.
go.
Well, I mean, well, look at her
She's
now.
paying my college fund.
She just got kidnapped at the end, or
Well,
we think she gets.
You don't know what
kidnapped.
happened.
I love that they went black bag on it though. Like,
you
V
see
for
them-
Vendetta.
The necklace fall to the floor.
Right.
That beautiful blue necklace.
And she's
I
like,
know, we
this-
talked about that. That necklace is just stunning.
Oh my goodness.
A little bit of clash fest going on.
It works great with red dresses.
So guys, you see how we do it. That's the wrap up of it all. Big thank you
You're welcome.
Yes.
to Miss
thank you so
Brianna
much.
Brown
Thank
for
you.
coming through and sitting in with us.
Thank you for the laughs.
yeah.
Good, thank you.
And all the insight. That was great.
Oh, you're
Awesome.
welcome.
Awesome stuff.
Lemon
Anyway,
water.
keep watching.
And also,
watching.
thank you to Molly for making it
course.
happen.
Amazing
Yes,
publicist.
Thank you.
Molly makes it happen without
Yes.
saying a word. Y'all
PWPR.
She's like a silent assassin. Molly actually killed whoever died in the
It
house.
was Molly.
It was Molly. It's my prediction. No. Hey guys, thank you for joining us. Stay with us. Come back next week. There's gonna be some fun stuff. Again, I'm Stephaune Wallace. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at I Am More Fire.
Yes, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at XOXOCESCA.
And you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. I'm really good, getting good, guys. Candy Buen, CandiBuen.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Laila Sadny, not Snapchat.
Thanks again to Brianna Brown. We love y'all. Keep watching. Shout out. Devious Maids out.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.